right, the time has come. We're gonna do it. It's happening. It's time to power on! Hey, welcome to me and Art and you and Friday. I'm gonna move my keyboard over. I'm gonna pull my monitor over. This is where I'm drawing on right here. I'm looking at you guys up there. So welcome. Thank you once again to TRL Twitch Request Live. Hopefully you could hear me. Last week we had a little problem, but I see the equalizer thing bouncing up and down, so that's good. I think I started pretty quick this time. Oh look, I think Dolly Girl's in here possibly. If so, great. If not, well, not as great. And then I'm going to shortly open up the queue for requests real quick. Let me see if I can find what's going on here. Do 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 do. So I'm going to clean out the queue from last time. And I'm opening the queue right now. There it goes. It is open. So for those that are new, I every week on Friday at 5:30 to 7 do Twitch Request Live. I will sketch whatever you want, not finished art. Actually, let me clear this off. That's what I was working on before for a print. And it costs no money. It costs nothing. You don't even got to chat. You just come in, you put the request in, exclamation point, request space, the thing you want, and I will put it in a list and randomly choose them as we go on. But I will right now start just doing a little sketch up for myself just to get the ball rolling. And let me switch that back to console so I can see if there's any chat I'm missing. All right. Everything seems to be, actually, I'm going to just double check before I start. I'm going to open up Twitch. Oh, nope, there we go. Dolly Girl's here. She's putting in a request. The giant claw. Oh yeah, you requested that last time. You know what? You requested that last time, and I didn't remember what you're talking about, but now I do. It's that obscure sort of Toku kaiju monster thing. So that's a cool request. Let me check, make sure that went into the queue, and it did. So right now you're the only one in there. So if nobody shows up before I finish this sketch, that is what will get drawn. So let me go back to console, and let's see. I think I'm gonna do. Well, I got a reverse Flash figure recently, and it was like a high-end collectible one. And I don't think I'm going to do that figure specifically, but it does have me in a reverse Flash kind of mood. So I think I'll just do a quick sketch of Eobard Thawne, as it were. Oh, I'm looking at the slideshow for my werewolf stuff, and I realize some of those are sideways. Well, whatever, they'll be fixed later. So let's see if I do. Oop, nope, that is the wrong opacity. I had it at 100% when it should be more like 50. And we'll zoom out a little bit, professor zoom that is, and bring this down to about 50. So we'll do a quick reverse Flash head sketch, and then I will go on to choosing at random some requests from the queue. Let's see. Oh, and there we got Airzuki coming up. Okay, and okay. Saying hello to each other and everybody. Hope everyone's having a good Friday. I think we're starting to head out of. I mean, I know daylight savings isn't for a while here in the U.S., but for a while it's about 5:30 in California time where I am, and for a while, by the time it was 6 o'clock, it was pitch black. It's 5:30 now, but if I do this, you can see a little bit of light still coming in from the window, and so I think even though it's February, we're starting the slow journey back to having daylight for a longer period of time. And that's good because as much as I'm not a fan of like summer and being hot, I am a fan of sunlight later in the day, so I like that. Wow, Thawne, not Wells. Yeah, no, it's not Wells because Wells, I would need to reference the actor and kind of. I am a big fan of the character Harrison Wells from Flash and that actor, but I didn't want to really reference a likeness right now because since I'm doing a quick sketcho. So Thawne is the more the comic book version traditionally. So that's kind of the version I'm doing. I'm doing closer to the comic book version so that I don't have to reference a specific actor to answer your question, Airzuki. Oh, what's happening? Baja Bug with the host. Hey, thanks for stopping by and thanks for hosting me. That's very lovely of you, Mr. Bug. All right, so that's good enough for that layer. And I think I do want to put some color on this, so I'll just do one more pass before I go to color. And there's still time to get in those requests. Get them in now. You got a pretty good shot. Last time I checked, Dolly Girl was the only one that had one in. Let's see. Let me check the queue again. Yep, Dolly Girl's the only one with requests right now. Excuse me. Oh, and Danny's here. Hey, Danny, how you doing? Hope you're having a good Friday. All right, so I'm going to go in with, this is the cleanup layer, but this will be the final layer before I go to color. and then we'll hit those request lines. Eobard Thawne. I'm never quite sure how to pronounce his name. It's Thawne, Thrawn. I guess it's Thrawn. It's just they gave him a weird future name that like we don't know how to pronounce in this time. Eobard. Eobard is a little bit easier. Thrawn, Thawne. I guess it's just Thawne. I'm making it more difficult than it needs to be. I'm just saying it. Thawne, guys. Thawne. I am going to give him kind of the glowy eyes, which, depending on the version he has here, he doesn't have. It's a little bit more of a modern thing. I don't know if the television show inspired it or the more modern comic inspired the television show, but I do like that he's so pumped up with like evil Speed Force. It's just blasting out of his eyes. I kind of dig that. Okay, let's see. Erzuki, you did it right, Dolly. Gas should turn on confirmation so people know. Yeah, no, I don't know how to turn on confirmation messages. Heyo, what's going on? Samurai Ox now hosting. Thank you very much, Ox. I appreciate that. Baja Bug. Oh, cool. So you're gonna be streaming too. So that's awesome. Hopefully you have a good stream as well. Thank you for that. Erzuki putting her request in for Naruto. Samurai Ox hosting, as I said. Oh, Tank Girl. Whoa, wait a minute. Isn't that Peters? What are you doing, Ox? Requesting for other people. Let me check the queue here. Make sure everything's working. This is what we have in the queue officially right now. We got Dolly Girl for Giant Claw, Erzuki for Naruto Uzumaki, and Samurai Ox for Tank Girl. If anybody else had a request, it is not on there, so you may have done it wrong. All right, so let me get back to this guy. Yeah, I'll have to have my tech advisor show me how to turn on notifications at another time to make sure that you're on the queue. Actually, that earpiece looks really off. Not looking for perfection here, but that was just a little too off for my comfort. Okay. So last week I talked a little bit about how I might be doing another show, and I am going to be doing another show, and I'll probably mention this a few more times before it happens, but it's coming up pretty quick. It's going to be on Monday nights, same time, 5:30 to 7 Monday nights. And we're probably going to have a soft launch this Monday coming up in 4 days, math, whatever. And then we'll have the real show start Monday the 4th, same time. I'll put it on the schedule. It's going to be, again, 5:30 to 7. And it's going to be me, and I'm going to have a co-host, which will usually be the big dog. If he's not available, I might cycle in others, or I might do it by myself, but he's sort of going to be my general co-host. And the idea is going to be, it'll still be art, but it won't be, I won't be taking requests. I'm going to be doing Power Rangers art. And the show will probably be a little bit shorter than this one. It'll probably be closer to an hour unless things get really crazy. And let me check chat real quick because I realize I'm ignoring it. Zooks and everybody's talking to everybody. It's in the queue option. Your tech advisor is laying down feeling poopy. Okay, I'll take a look at that when I get a sec. But yeah, so basically what it's going to be is every Monday, the new season of Power Rangers, the first season produced by Hasbro, starts not this weekend, but the next following weekend. And it'll air on the weekend. And so then Monday, we will get together and we will talk about that episode and what happened and how Hasbro is handling Power Rangers Beast Morphers. But at the same time, I will be drawing some Power Rangers art. So it'll be partial discussion review of the episode, partial watching me do some Power Rangers art, and we'll also talk a little bit. It'll all be very Power Rangers centric because we might talk about new toys coming out, that kind of stuff, any Power Rangers news on the movie, that kind of thing. But the two main things that'll be going on. Hold on, let me see. Let me try something. The two main things that'll be going on are I will be drawing Power Rangers and we'll be discussing the recent episode of Beast Morphers. All right, that's that's the one shot for dramatic effect. All right, bring this down to 25. I'm going to do a quick color layer, and then we're going to be done with this gentleman. So if you don't have your request in, put it in soon because times are running out. And unless you're a time traveler like Thawne, you're going to be in trouble. Yeah, so yeah, that's the idea is Fridays we'll do this. And I was talking about this last time, how when I tried to just play it by ear, I wasn't getting those extra shows in. And so I like the idea of tying, because I do a lot of Power Rangers art, so I like the idea of tying it to something I already do, and kind of jumping on fresh, because a lot of people do review shows or talk about Power Rangers or something, but very few people go episode by episode. Some of the older shows they do, but I like the idea of like this is a whole new era of Power Rangers. Let's jump in fresh, forget about all the old. I mean, we'll compare it to the old seasons, but we're not going to come in with any preconceived notions and just go and see how it works, and at the same time talk about everything else going on and get some art done. And so in the beginning, I'll probably be doing mostly Beast Morphers art, and then as time goes on, I'll probably branch out to regular other seasons. He doesn't have a white; it's black, right? He has a black chest symbol, so let me put that in. But I won't do full black. It'll be sort of a very dark gray. I actually used a little bit of red since he's going to have red lightning, so I wanted to match that. And he's got sort of a Caucasian flesh tone, so let me find that in here. Let's see what else we got going on in chat real quick. Dolly Girl, hoping Airzuki feels better, as do we all. That is very nice of you. Dolly Girl, Monday nights you say? I'll add that. Oh well, thanks, Dolly Girl. I appreciate that. Yeah, you're a Ranger fan too, so I wasn't. I'm not sure how much crossover there'll be between the people that enjoy this show and that'll enjoy that. But if you're a Power Ranger fan, then that's definitely the place for you. So Dolly, I met at Power Morphicon, so that's how we originally made contact. So it makes sense that hopefully she'll enjoy that show. And let's see, Ox. Awesome. Yeah, Monday, Ox. Thanks. I hope it'll be good. And one of the things is having a co-host will, I will still respond to chat, obviously, but I'm always looking down as I'm drawing, whereas he hopefully will be able to look at the chat a little bit more so that if I'm taking a little too long to respond, well, that's fine because, he could step in and call out the questions and comments and stuff that maybe I missed. I think these are red. I'm not looking at any reference. So again, this is more like the comic book version, but I believe that's red. And then he's got his lightning bolt up here. All right, and then I'll just put a little shading and lightning effects here. Let me switch this to brush. Definitely got to get some of that. That's not what I was looking for. Let me bring that up to 100%. There we go. Some lightning, like I don't know if he's running or he's about to run, but he's just crackling with the energy. And I might take the opacity on this down, but I wanted to put it in heavy opacity to start. Actually, I will take the opacity on this down because I'm going to put a glow around it too. So again, like that, I mean, Flash does this a little bit too with the lightning, but I definitely feel like the evil speedsters, it's more like, again, because they're sort of like addicted to the power. It's just all over the place. It's chaotic. It's not as controlled. Let's see. Speaking of missing chat, Airzuki, your face is a Caucasian. My face is a Caucasian flesh color. Very appropriate usage of the your faced. And I see Danny putting in a request for Delaney Nebelit and Baja Bug gonna lurk till 9. Gonna lurk till 9. Wow. And then till then, happy streaming. Okay, thanks, man. Well, I will be done well before 9, and happy streaming to you too as well, Mr. Bug of Bajas. All right, so we're almost done with this. Sometimes what I like to do is when I'm doing like lightning effects and stuff, I go with big heavy ones like this. And then actually, let me change the blending option real quick. Blending options. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to grab outer glow. Where's outer glow? Here it is. Outer glow. And see how you can see a little bit of light, white comes off, but I don't want white. I want more of a reddish pink. So I'll pick that color like that. So it has a little glow coming off it. And I could make the spread bigger or wider. Yeah, like that. And then I'm going to do inner glow. Where's inner glow? Inner glow. But I do want the inner glow to be white. And I want the opacity to be much higher. And then I'll bring the size down a little bit. It's not working as well as I'd like, but you get the idea. I don't want to get too crazy on it. And then I have this whole thing. I'll bring it down to 75% to give it more of an energy thing. Then I'll make another layer with pure red, but much, much thinner. I'll go like 12%. Let's see. Baja Bug, 6 p.m. your time. Oh, okay. So that's in like 15 minutes. Erzuki says 10 hearts. Thank you for the 10 hearts. If those are the equivalent of bits, I'm still not getting notifications for some reason, which I don't know why. I got a notification earlier when I had a new follower. I'm not getting the sound. Bring. So I thank you for that, regardless if it's bits or not, but I believe it's bits. It confuses me when it says 10 or whatever, because I'm not as up on. Oh, that actually came out looking terrible. I don't like the way that looks at all. All right, let me do this with a slightly lighter red. Might work better. Yeah, that's better. It was just a little bit too bright for the other color I had put in there. All right, and let me see the time. Okay, we're 15 minutes in, so I got to wrap this up so I can get to some of those requestos. I know we got 4 in, I think. I'll have to double check before I do the random. All right, and then I'll put a little bit of glow in his eye. We'll do some dark on the edges, like so. And then we'll do lighter on the inside, like so. And maybe just a little bit of white, just to really pop it. Well, actually, this isn't even quite white, but there we go. And then I'll just do a quick shade layer on top of everything. We'll do one for flesh, and then we'll do a separate one for everything else. It is bits. Oh, okay. Thanks, Arizuki. Yeah, I guess I always think I have everything figured out, all the techno stuff, and then inevitably it's like, nope, it's wrong. It was right. It stopped working. You thought you fixed it. You didn't. You know nothing, Jon Snow. All right, so nice heavy shadow there because we want it to be very dramatic and evil with the lighting, but I will bring it down to 75. What am I doing here? 75. Goots. And then the rest of it, Heyo! Oh, Baja Bug with the subscription. You are a crazy awesome. Thank you very much for being crazy in a way that is awesome to me. Thank you. Enjoy. Okay. Let's see. After that, Dolly Girl giving the okay. Oh, see, so maybe Dolly Girl did the okay, and then Baja Bug's like, I need one of those. Well, you got it, buddy. All right, so there's the red and the yellow, and then we'll do the quick shadow layer, as I just said. And we'll do that. And I'll get a nice big old brush flutes. And we're going to do mostly shadow on the outside as though the light is emanating from inside, which again isn't necessarily accurate. It's more of an artistic license kind of thing. But as long as it's consistent with the shading we did on his face, it'll all work out fine. Put a little bit under here too. And some on here to give it a little bit of a shine. It's sort of maybe metallic. Why is that not showing up? There we go. Let's see. We got Baja. Oh, he's doing it. Okay. Okay. Double okay. Arizuki with the okay and the cat emotes from her channel, and then Dolly Girl blasting off with a couple okays as well. Okay. Okay. Okay, I gotta stop. Okay, I gotta stop. All right, so we'll bring this down to 75 to match the others. That, you know what? That's too much with this one. 50. I'm gonna go all the way down to 25. Let's get Crazy Town. Okay, and then I'm just gonna put a black background because he's evil. And then I'll put a little bit of white for the lightning, and then we are done. Just to make this pop out a little bit more. And then bring that down to 50. All right, we're going to call him done for now. Save as RV. All right, and we're going to close this up and do our first request for the evening. Delete. Yes. All right, so let's check what we got in the queue right now. In the queue. And Danny F9 with what looks like a Waluigi. Wah! Ha ha! Well, that's more of a Wario. I don't know how Waluigi sounds. It's something like that. All right, so we have 4 requests in the queue right now. I'm going to take a photo. So you guys have got a really good chance. 25%. All right, and I'm going to do the random picker. Pick random. And let's see what got chosen. It was Danny. Okay, so Danny, I'm gonna have to look up your thing because I have no idea what it is. Delaney Neblet. All right, could be a Digimon thing, maybe. I don't know. Let's find out. I'm gonna open up a window so that I can do a little quick visual research. DELANEY. I'm spelling, everybody. Watch Gazbot spell every Friday night at 5 o'clock. Delaney Neblet. All right, here we go. Let me see here. Oops. Delaney Neblet. I'm not finding a Delaney Neblet. I mean, I'm finding like some pictures of doctors. Danny says she was my friend who passed away in 2015. Well, I'm sorry to hear that happened. Can you maybe send me a link to an image of her? I've also said, to be fair, I'll do this, but I'm not great at likenesses. I'll do my best, but maybe send me a link because I'm not sure. I'm just seeing a bunch of people on here. I don't know which one is the one you're looking for to be done. Okay, cool. Thank you. Let's see. Okay, got it. I will use this photo. Saving the picture now. Okay. Oh, why did that not save? Sorry, hold on a second. It didn't save for some reason. Okay, got it. Nope. Close. Sorry, it's being weird. All right, now I have to open the reference real quick. Yeah, it's always good to have a reference link on hand if you so, if it's something that I might not know or might have trouble finding. So good job with that, Danny. And Twitch request. Cool. Okay, I have the reference saved. I have it open so I can zoom in a little bit, and we are good to go. Okay. So this is the person, Delaney, I believe is how you pronounce that, so everybody knows. And going in. All right, so I will start with a quick rough background sketch. Let's see. Go 50%, like so. Let's see. Samuriox says, "Wait, I thought there was always a slot on their quest list saved for more cheddar goblins." You may have thought that. I don't know why you thought that. I never said that. I mean, you could request cheddar goblin again. I may or may not delete it. I would go. I would say I wouldn't ban cheddar goblins. I wouldn't say I'd never do it again, but I don't think I would do it 2 weeks in a row. So if yeah, I guess that's. I'm learning a lot of new rules that I like. You know, not two winners in the same week, and I probably won't do the same subject matter twice in a row. But you know, if it's a couple weeks from now and it comes up, sure, why not? Give a different take on it. Let me zoom this out a little bit. I think I got a little too close. Turn it a little bit like that. Okay, that's better. All right, her hair line up here. And then back down. And she's got kind of cool hair flipping out the backside like that. And then her neck and a necklace. Cool. I'll use that as our base, and now we'll lower the opacity and go back in with a little bit of a cleanup layer. Do. Ox, fair enough. Yeah, I did. Yeah, it is fair enough. Oh wait, this is a 50%. I wanted it at 75%. Pardon my brush percentages. Now I'm at 75. Okay, here we go. And yeah, I'm just kind of like I did with Flash. I'm going to do just the one pass. So this will be the final line pass so that I have more time to do color. Because I think with her, it'd be better to less about perfect lines and more about color will help bring the likeness a little bit. Oops, too much. There we go. And get the eyes in there. Smiling. When Irish eyes are smiling. I don't know what that song is about, but I also don't know if she's Irish. And also, you don't need to be Irish to have eyes that smile. I don't know what I'm saying. Although it is funny because as I'm drawing those pupils, I'm kind of drawing this shape, which is kind of like a smile. All right, I'm going to take a sip. Excuse me. Ox says, really enjoying the progress of your anthology story too. Well, thank you. Is that Zooks in your story from the wedding panel? Yeah, it would be weird if it wasn't, because I am married to Zooks, and you have a good eye that yes, that is her. And Ox, for those that don't know, is referring to both he and I and many others are part of a group called The 100s, which is comprised of comic book artists that have undertaken a challenge to work on their own personal comic for 100 days in a row without stopping. And if you've succeeded in that, you are eligible to be in an anthology, which is currently being produced, called Werewolves and Unicorns, which is, I have two slideshows going on now. The one above me is commission work. The one over there is stuff from my story. I haven't really updated that in a while, but we're all doing 4 pages that are somehow related to werewolves or unicorns or both, or just fantasy stuff in general. And so mine is semi-autobiographical. Well, it's mostly autobiographical. I don't know why I say semi, but it's autobiographical. So yes, there is a scene of a married couple, and that couple is myself and Erzuki, who is my wife. Actually, I did that ear wrong. Let's see. Kind of mostly just see the bottom. Okay, and then go with the chin. Boop. All right, and the nose. Now I'm just naming body parts. Chin, earlobe, nose, and eyes. I already did the eyes, but you get the idea. Okay, let me erase a little bit in there. Boop. Um, let's see. Dolly Girl says, I thought that looked like you in the drawings, that hair. Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of a progression. It's been similar, maybe a little shorter, longer, thinner, thicker, whatever, but I've had this basic haircut for a while now. But if you follow me and you've seen other pictures of like what looks like a younger kid, that's also me. It's all versions of me from throughout time and space, I guess, because, I moved around and stuff. I think I'm the only one in the fantasy book of werewolves and unicorns to have an autobio story, which is funny too because I dig monsters and fantasy and stuff like that. Um, and I don't really do autobio stuff. Well, when I very first started doing comics, I did like superhero stuff, and this is nothing that was published anywhere. There's just stuff I did for myself. And then in the 90s, I got into more like independent zines and stuff like that. And I definitely did. And I did publish, not that, anybody would see them, like we're super low, made my own copy published. I did a lot of fanzines that would have autobio comics as part of it. Or I just did autobio comics. And I kind of got out of that and hadn't really done it at all. So I don't know what made me decide to do it for this. I guess the subject, because I had something weird enough to say, but well, when it came to werewolves, that affects my life, and I have stories about werewolves from my life. Um, but I think that's what it is. That I hadn't had the desire to do autobio comics as I used to do, but the subject I knew it, as soon as like we settled on it. I very quickly knew what I was going to do, and it was autobio. I think her chin's a little longer, so I'm just gonna grab this whole piece here and bring it down a little bit. Yeah, that's more accurate. Oops. Deselect, please. Thank you. I'm deselecting. Then bring that back up. Okay. And a little bit of smile. And then the rest of her hair, she's got these little flip outs. Flip, 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 flip. Okay. And let's see what's going on. Something in chat. Ox says, I mean, I figured as much, but I didn't want to just assume because maybe it's about werewolves crashing a wedding. Yeah, I mean, it could be werewolves crashing a wedding. That's true. It is weird because I mean, as with all autobio stories, it's not 100% true. Or what's the saying? I forgot. It's like, is it true? Is it real or is it true? I'm mixing up. Basically, the idea of like, is it 100%? Did it 100% happen? No. Is it 100% true? Yes. Like that's kind of like I'm not making up stories. Everything that I talk about in some way, shape, or form happened. I might embellish or I might condense time or move things around a little bit just to make a little more sense. But it's all based in reality. It's not a fantasy story necessarily. But if you look at the pictures I do, there's a lot of werewolves and monsters and stuff in it, even though it's all real. So I don't know. Hopefully people dig it. I'm enjoying the I'm enjoying the fact that having worked on my comic The Horror Ray 4 for years and being not even at the halfway mark. Well, I guess I'm kind of at the halfway mark because I'm halfway through the third issue of 5, but it's taking so long to tell the story that there's something exciting about like, oh, I'm almost done with this story that will then be published and people could read, and it's only taken a few months, which is still a long time for a 4-page story, but compared to the other stuff I did, very quick. Let's see what's chat saying. We got Danny says she did love her fan art. Oh, cool. So, she had fan art. She was a celebrity of some sort, or what did she get fan art for? What was she known for? Was she a YouTuber or, pardon my ignorance. I hadn't heard of her. So if she's well known and I should know her, I apologize. But I'm not, up on all the cool kid stuff these days. Okay, I'll bring that down. Actually, I'll just erase this altogether. Flutz. I think I'll move this whole section, her hair, her eye, everything, all of it just over a little bit. Blah, 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 blah. Oops. That's the white. I did not mean to select the white. I meant to select the lines. That's better. And what does see here? Creed. Hello, Creed Stonegate. Request. Cookie Crook, Cookie Cow. The same thing as last time. Well done. Well done. Yeah, chances are in. Okay, and she has, is that a tattoo? Maybe it's a little bit of a scar. It looks like my brother has a scar like that over his heart, and then she's got another one there. But I don't want to make it too big. Yeah, there we go. Okay. Okay. And I think maybe I made her mouth a little bit too wide. I'm just going to do the same thing. Grab this whole thing and just shrink it just a little bit. There we go. That's good. Doot. And maybe erase part of that line there. Yeah, put a little bit too much on her nose. I think that's better. Okay, I'll go with some color now. Dupe. I'll do some flats, and then I'll do some shading on top a little bit more than I did with Eobard, because I want to get a more subtle color. Let's see, Danny. No, I made her art when needed. Oh, okay. So she wasn't someone that had lots of fans that were sending her art all the time. It was more just that you made art for her and she enjoyed it. That's cool. It's very nice of you. Okay. Get her hair in there. I might need to erase some of those out later, but I'll worry about that later. All right, so speaking of halfway, we're more than halfway done with this one. So if you don't have a request in, now is the time. Exclamation point, the word request, space, and then whatever your request is. It doesn't cost any money. You don't have to be chatting. Just throw it in, and I will randomly pick one. You got equal chances as everyone else. The only caveat is that it isn't something I drew last week, and that you didn't already get chosen. So, for example, Danny's getting this one. He doesn't get to get another one this week. But other than that, have at it. All right, fill that in. Bloop. Ah, I knew that was going to happen. I didn't know that was going to happen. I worried that was going to happen. And then my worry came to fruition. It was a worry fruit. I'm kind of hungry, but not for fruit. I don't like fruit, for those that don't know, and why would you? I dislike fruit in general. There's like 5 fruits that I will eat, none of which I want, but if it's like I'm hungry, I gotta have something. And for those of you that didn't ask, which is everybody, those fruits that I will eat are um, watermelon, green grapes, banana, orange, apple. That's it. Those are the only fruits that I will eat at all. I don't want them. I don't like them, but I'll eat them. Every other fruit is disgusting. To me. To me. Clearly, people have different opinions. All right, so let me continue with the flatting here. Get the teeth in. Actually, I'll do the whole inner mouth and then go back in and add pink later. And the eyes of white tonight. And her necklace, which kind of looks like pearls, but I'm not sure. But it's a whitish color regardless what the material is. And then we'll do some brown for her hair. Looks like it has like reddish highlights, but we're going to do a brown base color. And I'm going to select this so I don't have to, I selected all the flesh color so that I could just go in and not worry about accidentally getting brown in the background. I only have to worry about the border on the side of her face. The rest I can leave out. Cool. And then I'll fill this in with the paint bucket tool. Un momento. Here we go. Here we go. I was thinking like, man, this show crept on me really fast. It didn't feel like a week, but then I remembered last week I did it on Sunday, so this was actually less than a week. So I was like, man, like time flew this time, but it was actually less time. I'm not a time traveler. I'm just perceiving time accurately. Okay, so a little bit of brown in the eyebrows, on the edges here. And it looks like she also has brown eyes, so I'll use the same, and then again darken and highlight these after the fact. Okay. Boop, boop. And then a little bit of pink, like I said, for the inside of her mouth, like her lips and her gums and stuff. A little bit more. There we go. Right there. And her tongue. A little bit on the corners of her eyes. And then she looks like she's wearing lipstick, or if not, she just has very red lips. Either way, we need to make these lips redder. So I'll just go ahead in with that, like so. And a little bit on the bottom. Boop, 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 boop. Let's see. Ox. Green grapes? Gross! Red grapes for the win. Oh, red grapes. You mean like purple, black? Ugh. See, here's the thing. I'm not defending green grapes. They are kind of gross. You're right. I would just rather have those than red grapes or any other fruit besides the four I mentioned. Dolly Girl, you also like watermelon. Yeah, watermelon. Watermelon and let me think. I guess bananas are the two that I'm most like. I wouldn't sit down and have a chunk of them, but if they were like an ingredient in something, like I'll eat a banana cream pie, or if there's like, I like. And here's the other thing, I like flavoring. I like watermelon flavoring a lot, like in candy. It's one of my favorite flavors, but it's better than real watermelon. I also love grape flavor, like purple, like whatever purple is. I love it. It's one of my favorite like candy flavors. But purple grapes, no, no, thank you. All right, I'm gonna go in and do some highlights, the orange highlights on her hair here. And I'm doing these a little heavier than I normally would, because just I don't know the way it's hit. I don't know if it's the sun or what, but looking in the picture, it's more than just the natural light highlight. It's actually like a bit of a color difference, so I want to make sure that shows, like so. And then I'll go in with a bigger brush on top of that, and then I'll soften this all up in a minute. Okay, so then I'll use where's the eraser? Oh, there it is. But I want a soft round pressure size, and I want it 50% opacity. And I'll make it a little bigger, and we'll soften all that. Do-do-do-do-do-do. You do the Baja bug, and we'll lower all this to 75. 75. Okay, cool. And then I will go ahead and do the other highlights, but this time it'll be flesh tones. On the nose, on the cheeks, upper eyelids, forehead. And I'm doing this obviously a lot quicker and sloppier than I normally would just because time is the fire in which we all burn. Others prefer to think of time as a friend, a companion that's with us through our travels. Yes, I am quoting Star Trek Generations, or misquoting, or paraphrasing, however you want to say it. Oop, oh, I did that. Okay, I've made this mistake before. Did it on the same layer. Well, what are you going to do? Soften it up. Actually, I'll do this. Make a much bigger brush and just go. So now we have a very, very light. And then I will go back up here and put in some highlights again. Oops, wrong color. Highlights again, but softer. There we go. Almost like I'm applying makeup or something. Cool Mode. And highlights to the brown eyes. And I gotta bring this down. Nope, I forgot to deselect the skin color. Cool. Let's see. Ox says it's interesting to hear about what you'll eat because I think at the end of the day it's really a really short list. You're right. It is a really short list. I always say I'm a very picky eater. For those who don't know, I'm a vegetarian, but I'm a picky eater like independent of the fact that I don't eat meat. Like when I ate meat, I was a picky eater. Now that I don't eat meat, I'm a picky eater. They're completely separate issues. And yeah, it is. I'm a picky eater, but I'm easy if you listen to me. If you try to cook for me and you're like, oh, I'm gonna like, then yeah, I'm a pain in the butt. But if I'm coming over and I'm like, yeah, just give me, some SpaghettiOs, I'll be fine. And you do that, I will be fine. But if you're like, well, I made my own homemade SpaghettiOs and I put in all these weird ingredients that you didn't ask for, well, then you've wasted your time and mine because I won't like it. So yeah, it's a very short list of what I like to eat. Pizza, eggs, pasta, burritos. That's most of it right there. That is most. Pop-Tarts. Yeah. I mean, there's probably others, but that like, if you gave me that stuff, I'd be okay pretty much forever. Because that's the other thing. I don't really get sick of eating the same food over and over again. Like I could eat IHOP every day if I had to. Like a little change is nice once in a while, sure, but most people seem to need that a lot more than I do. So while I am a picky eater, it works for me. Oops, I want that to be bigger. Let's just get a little bit of blush in there. Blush, 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 blush. And then we'll erase, Erase, and I'll bring that all down to 50. Okay, so we'll just put a little bit of shading in on the face here, and we're getting close to being done. I think once I get the shading done, most of it will be done. And then we'll pick the next request. So anybody that's lurking that wants to throw a request in, feel free. You don't have to chat. You don't have to pay. All you got to do is exclamation point, the word request, space, and then what you want. And that's all it takes. And you got an equal chance of people that put it in the beginning or the end. It's all random. And I originally said I wasn't sure if I was going to stick with it. And I don't know if I'll stick with it forever, but the past few weeks, that's how I've been doing it. And it seems to be working out okay. 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 And I'll lower this all down to 50. There we go. You know what? Maybe 75? 75 good? Nah, that's too much. 50. I was right. But I will put a little bit of extra. Oops. Around. Why is that not? That's weird. Hold on a sec. Sorry. It wasn't putting down the pigment where I wanted it to. There we go. Oh, I have the wrong tool. That's why. It's a poor artist that blames his wrong tools he's chosen. And I deselected. Boy, oh boy, right in the home stretch, and I start messing up and adding time. Sorry about that, everybody. There we go. Okay, now we're doing it. I just want to pull extra shading in these two areas. And I'll bring that down to 50. And maybe 25. There we go. Just enough. Okay, and then I'll do the hair. Oops, I need to put a little bit on her necklace. Almost missed that. Just a little bit on the necklace bit. Okay, I'll do a little bit of shadow on her hair and then a background color, and then we are done. So let's see, what am I missing up here? Semriox says, ooh, I work in the opposite fashion and start with the lightest and go to darkest. I think that's the normal way to do it, to start light and get dark. I don't think about it that much, and it might even change per drawing, to be honest. I really I haven't thought of my process very much sometimes. I did see a panel with Adam Hughes and his wife, girlfriend, who's Allison Sohn. So I'm not sure if they're married or not, but they're partners forever anyway. And they both work in Copics, and it was a demonstration. And he works, he works light to dark. One of them works light to dark, and the other they work opposite. And basically, the one who works dark to light was getting a lot of crap from everybody, like, you're crazy. But you know, whatever works is kind of my motto. That's my motto now. I didn't know it, but it is. All right, let me throw a little bit of background color, and we're all good. So get your final requests in. I'm thinking yellowish green, maybe. Let's see. Let's see how that goes. Yellowish green, and then we'll soften that up. Soften it up. Soften it up. Do 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 do. Okay, we'll make that 75, maybe 50. And then put a little dark as well. Look at me going light to dark, sort of. Well, I kind of went middle to light to then dark. Can't pin me down. Rules? What rules? Where we're going, rules are for babies. That's true. Once you become an adult, you don't need rules. Or even, I guess, a teenager if it's only for babies. 50. All right, we're going to call this done. Foot, file, save as, what was her name? Delaney. I'll just put Del. And there is Delaney. Hopefully you like it, Danny. And I will close this out. Yoosh. And open a new one. All right, let's see. Dolly Girl. Okay. Semriox. Well, I think doing the way you do, it may fix the problems I have with digital right now and never filling everything in. Oh, yeah. Well, I usually start by flatting everything. And then from there, I add shadow or highlight or whatever. But like, I try to make all flat so that all the colors are filled in. And then you could use the paint bucket tool to even lighten or darken after that. Like a lot of times I'll color something in red and then, you know, change it, but just to like block it out. So there's that. All right, let me get open the old request queue. And it looks like we got 4 in there right now. So let me take my picture. So you guys, once again, 25% chance each. It would have gone up except for Creed joined the fun. Okay, and let me pick a random. And let's see. And it was Creed. You know, it's funny. It's I've definitely checked, and it is random, but anecdotally, it often picks the last person. So if you want to try to like game the system, I would say wait and don't be first, second, third, be last, and then your chances are higher. Let's see, Danny. I like. Oh, good, Danny. Well, I'm glad you do, since it was your request, obviously. Excuse me while I take a sip. All right, so let me look at creeds. I know it was Cookie Crisp, but Cookie Crook, Cookie Cop, or the dog. So I'm gonna have to. I know what he's talking about. It's the cereal mascots, but I am gonna have to go ahead and open up a reference for this. So let's see, Cookie Crisp. I'll just put on Cookie Crisp. See what comes up first. Images. Oh yeah, now it's got like that wolf character. Okay, you know what? I'm gonna put Cookie Crisp 80s because they've changed mascots. These are the older mascots. I'm gonna put in 80s. I see a wizard. Oh wait, no, there it is. That's the guys I'm thinking of. I didn't know there was a Cookie Crisp wizard. That makes no sense. Well, I say it makes no sense as though Cookie Crisp inherently is about stealing cookies, but it's not. I just picture it that way because when I grew up, that's what it was. It was like, you know, stealing the Lucky Charms. The Cookie Crook is trying to steal it. Uh, okay. Cookie Crisp. I guess that's the new. That's what the wolf says. Did the dog say that at some point too? I now I'm mixing up my mascots. I'm trying to find a good picture. Cookie Crook. Where's the dog? I want to see what the dog looks like. Right now I'm leaning towards doing the crook, but I want to see the dog. Let me see. Oh, there's a box that has free figures. Oh, that's not a good picture. Yeah, the dog isn't featured. I'm mostly finding boxes, like, here, I'll show you. I'm finding boxes. And I put in 80s so that I could get these characters specifically. So that's most of the art I'm finding. See, there's that dog, but this looks like a more updated, looks like a 90s maybe. And there's that dog. I guess I'm just going to go with the crooks because I don't want to waste a lot of time trying to find the dog. Let's see. Which one? Simrax, is there a paint bucket for Procreate on the iPad? I know there's slight change. Okay. The short answer is yes. The longer answer is it's not literally a bucket. There is a fill tool, and I forget what it is because I use Procreate too, but it's a little bit counterintuitive. And several times I've forgotten how to fill. And this is one of those times. Like when I'm in the moment, I got to figure it out. But if you Google like paint bucket tool Procreate, it'll tell you. It's not literally a paint bucket. It's something else. It does the same thing. But it's something weird like double tap it, or maybe you drag the pigment. Oh, maybe think that's what it is. You drag the pigment and drop it, I think is how it works. So you can find a functionality of that, but it's not literally a paint bucket. I'm guessing for legal reasons or something. All right, so sorry, I'm getting sidetracked here. Crook, Cookie Crook. Let me just see if I can find a good picture of him. All right, I'm just gonna have to. Oh, that's a good one. Okay, the pictures on the boxes are a little static, but I found a still from an animation. And I'm going to use, oh, it's not a still, is it? Hold on. I found just an animation that I can't use. Okay, cool. I got one. Because it's got a little bit more life to it. All right, and I'm going to turn this canvas clockwise so I can get more of a horizontal sort of situation going on here. 6:19, we're doing okay with time. And I'm going to fill this background. Actually, I'm going to erase it first. And then I will fill it. Not with black. I just want to go with like a slightly gray. Okay. Lock down. Let's see what chat is saying. Oh, Summerhawks request Cookie Crisp Wizard. Well, you already have your request in, so I could change it if you want, but I suspect you're just kidding. Korean Stowgate. The wizard was before the cop and the crook, but they were crazy to get rid of them. Wait, the wizard was before the cop and the crook, but they were crazy to get rid of them? Oh, they were crazy to get rid of, not like they were crazy to get rid of them. They just couldn't wait. You're saying they were crazy to get rid of them, which I agree. I like them. Although I do like the Cookie Crisp. Did the dog say that, or is that just the wolf? That's what I want to know. Samurai Ox. See, this is why I hang with you for these hard times. Oh, for these times. I don't know why I said hard times. Because these are hard times. I just invented that in my head for some reason. All right, Cookie Crook. Let's get to it. I have another cartoon character that I've never drawn that I'm not particularly going to be good at, but I'll give it a shot. Roger Rabbit came out surprisingly good last time, so Who knows? This is definitely more Infinite Coolness Creed Stonegate style right here. Kabuki Crisp. I expect an answer on that. Oh, look, and there it is. Creed Stonegate. The dog started that howl. Okay, good. Well, then I'm with you. The only thing I liked about the new wolf character, well, aside from the fact that I like wolves, uh, was the coo. But I definitely like the coo, Kabuki Crisp. But I definitely liked the antics and the commercials of the cop robber kind of thing. And I looking at the image I'm looking at, it also reminds me that they would like mix live action with cartoons, which is funny considering I did Roger Rabbit last time, which was also mixing live actions and cartoons. So it's on theme sort of having me do cartoony characters that is not my specialty, but ones that were mixed with reality. So that's my specialty, cartoon characters that are mixed with reality. And then he's got a big nose, but it's covered up by the this, and I put that out too far. That should be. Oop, I gotta switch this up. I had the soft situation so I could erase the the delicate skin tone stuff, but that's not what I need right now. That's better. Kabuki Crisp. All right, there's that. Oh, and you can see his teeth all segmented out. Okay, and he's drooling for the cookies, obviously. And he's got a little bit of a collar, and he's got his hand out because he's like, I need the cookies. Who took the cookies from the cookie jar? Now, you might say the cookie crook, but you'd be wrong because the cookie cop stopped him. So the answer is no one. No one took the cookies from the cookie jar. All right, well, you know what? Maybe the cookie crook did take them from the cookie jar because the cookie cop is protecting Cookie Crisp. Wow, I'm saying cookie a lot. Cookie Crisp cereal. So that could mean that he might say, you know what? I'm never going to get the cookies from the Cookie Crisp cereal. It's time for me to branch out and get some actual cookies. I got Cookie Crisp cereal not too long ago, and I was a little disappointed. It wasn't terrible, but it definitely wasn't as good as I remember. And I don't know if that's a case of like me remembering it better than it was, or they put less sugar in things because they stopped making. I mean, stuff is still unhealthy, but like maybe somewhere along the way it got a little bit healthier than it used to be, or some chemical changed or something. Now this part here might seem weird because he is not the cookie crook is not a half man, half plane or whatever. But this is from a still from a commercial, and again, they'd mix in live action with animation in these commercials, and so he probably had like a toy plane or something that he was using in his misadventure to get the cookies, and then the cookie cop stopped him, and he like this is the end where he's like still trying to get the cookies even though it's the plane's all busted and sticking on him, and he's like trying to get it. Let's see, what do we got here? Oh, Diane Glitter. Hey, Gazbot. Just dropped in. Well, thanks for dropping in. Wow, it looks really dark in here. I normally have the lights on behind me, but because it was daylight when we started, the daylight come and me no turn on the lights. So there we go. But I will continue onward. I'm torn between doing another pass to tighten up these lines or doing color. I don't think I have time to do both. I'll leave it to Mr. Stonegate. Creed Stonegate, would you rather I leave the lines basically how they are, darken them up, and throw some color in, or would you rather I leave it black and white and spend the time making these lines nicer? What would please you, sir? Since this is your request, I'll let you have the option of directing my time and where I spend it improving, or at least finishing, hopefully improving. There's this, yeah, there's like, I don't know what these holes are in the plane. Maybe it was for like landing things. I don't know what you call them. Creed says color it up. Okay, you got it. I will color it up. In that case, let me erase a little bit on here. And okay, so the only I need to put he's got like little, I don't know if these are a design element or not, but I'll put some lines there. And then he's got okay, I see. He's got another hand on this side. I was like trying to figure out why his hands look weird, but it's you can't really see the other arm that very well from the angle he's at. I'm gonna draw it a little bit. Not that way. Should be coming from under. So I'm kind of cheating it. I don't know if you'd actually see that, but I'm doing it anyway. And then I'll clean up the eyes just a little bit and the nose just a little bit since I know I'm not going to do another cleanup pass. I was a little sloppier on here than I maybe would have been. And some cookie things. Now the one thing that's missing, of course, if he's the cookie crook, is a bowl of Cookie Crisp. Otherwise, what are we doing here? It's madness. It's interesting. This bowl, it's like clear glass, which is like I feel like that's the kind of thing you see in commercials, like to showcase the lovely cookies. But like, who eats out of a clear glass bowl with like a flared top and on like a glass dish? I mean, I guess some people do, but like, but breakfast cereal? I don't know. It seems like weirdly fancy or something. All right, let me see. Dolly Girl. That's a good song. I love listening to it in Beetlejuice. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I agree. I was like, what song? I barely aware I'm listening to it. Yeah, that's actually where I first heard it. I later realized that it's a real song and heard it elsewhere. But when I first heard it in Beetlejuice, I was like, what is this song I've never heard? Is this just for the movie? I have no idea. All right, so I'm not going to draw each individual cookie, but I'll kind of do an indication on top. And they're kind of like they're chocolate chips, but they're small chocolate chips. Oh, I'm way over here. Let me move this. Hey, look, it's me. I'm back in the center of frame. If I turn this off, I bet you I disappear. No, not quite. If I turn this off, well, I don't want to turn. Yeah, here, look. Oh no, you still see me. I thought if I turned everything off, I would just be in pitch black, but good thing I turned off my monitor. Now it's back on. Okay. I got worried because I turned off my Cintiq monitor and I thought it would disappear from what you guys could see, but you can still see it. It was still transmitting to you digitally, just not to me optically, because there was no light for my retinas to perceive. Science of eyes. And so then I'll just, even though you can see every cookie in here, I'm just going to indicate like that. But the other thing I need to do is put a couple dots because they are chocolate chip cookies after all. Okay, so we'll leave it like that. I feel like, should we see? I feel like we should see his other foot. I'll just do a little bit like that, just so you, a hint of it, and then a little bit of shadow there. So what I'm going to do, since I'm not doing another line layer, I'm going to duplicate this layer. Sorry, duplicate. And that gets a little darker, but that's a little too dark, so I'll bring this down to 50. I'll try turning this, excuse me, I'll try turning this black. It doesn't always work. Sometimes it gets real sloppy. Let's see what happens. That's not too bad. You know what? Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to leave this top layer. I'm going to untick contiguous. Make that all black. Now that looks terrible, but that still looks terrible. All right, we're gonna leave it red. We're gonna leave it red and just let it be darkened up a little bit. So I'll merge this down. And I'll lock that layer and we'll put some colors in. But what I'm going to do, contrary to what I just said to Ox about normally doing flats, because I'm working with these soft lines, I'm going to kind of do it more like I'm doing a watercolor painting or something, because otherwise it's going to look weird. So I'm going to keep it very soft. Let's see. Phonics the Deer. Hello to you. Welcome to the stream. I hope you're having a good Friday. I am Gazbot, and this is Twitch Request Live. I don't know if you've been here before or not, but you can throw a request in, and I will sketch it up. I'm not doing finished art, but all you do is exclamation point, request, space, and then the character, whatever you want. I throw it in the queue, and then I randomly pick one. So I'm working on this one next, and then I'll switch and do another random one. And that's what we do here on Friday nights. But yeah, thanks for stopping by. What have you been up to? Are you an artist, a gamer, just somebody who likes to watch? Nope, first time, and okay, sounds good. Cool. Yeah, and you don't have to request either, too. It's just if you want to. So yeah, so I'm doing softer colors here. Again, because I said if I did hard lines, it wouldn't really work correctly. But I'm also doing it at 75% opacity, so it's getting a little bit of a natural shading to it, and which kind of makes sense because the reference I'm using. Actually, did I show you guys the reference? Let me show you. There's the reference. The reference I'm using is cell animation, which means it was literally on a piece of like acetate clear plastic that was painted on. So it kind of works that I'm sort of painting it on too. That should be a brighter red for the plane. There we go. The only downside is you can't really do a fill with this method, but it definitely has like a softer, more organic feel to it. Let's see. Let me see if that, okay, I see Phonics the Deer put in a request. Let's see if it worked. Yes, it did. Okay, your request is noted. I see it's a link to something. If you get chosen, I'll see what that link is. Phonics says, I do some doodles and a very amateur gamer. These are my relaxed hobbies. Cool. I don't game much. I don't game on Twitch. I don't game at all. The only game I really play other than like phone games, I play Overwatch, and I'm very mediocre at it. I am a professional artist, but this is obviously not for money or anything. This is just for fun. So do you stream, or are they just hobbies that you don't stream and you just check out other people's streams? See, I'm using the same brush, but like I'm getting a variation a little bit because when I go back over it, it was at 75%. So there's that. And I realized I should have used the white when I was doing his eyes to do this piece of the plane right here. There we go. Oops, that got in the way. Go back to console. Where's my, I totally lost my reference picture. Hold on a sec. Whew, found it. Okay, cool. All right, so this is kind of a gray, but I'll put a little bit of white to highlight that. And same with his shoes. They're mostly gray, but I'll put in some whites to pop him out a little bit. And he's got blue. He's wearing like jeans, I guess. Crook jeans. Oh, I messed up because I thought that was part of his pant leg, but that's actually part of the thing he's trapped in. And he's got a sort of a purplish pink shirt. I wonder, did Creed, if you're still here, Creed's who requested it, and he's an 80s expert. Did Cookie Crook ever get the Cookie Crisp? Like, I know there was a commercial, you know, Barney was always trying to steal Fred's Pebbles, and like on Christmas, there was a commercial where he actually gave him, he's like, here you go, Bon. And was there an equivalent of that for the Cookie Crook where he succeeded once, or the cop felt pity on him, or somebody bought him a bowl, or did he just live his little existence never ever getting what he wanted? All right, let me color in some of these Cocos. And I'm going to leave the bowl uncolored since it's clear glass, but I'll put a little bit of white in there, which I should have done when I was using white, but I didn't plan that far ahead. And we're almost done with this, and then we'll go on to the next request. So if you don't have a request in and you want one in, exclamation point, request, space, and then the thing you want. And you got an equal chance of randomly getting chosen as everybody else. Let's see. Samurai Ox notices the Mohawk and is pleased with this. You're seeing a Mohawk where there isn't one. That's a hat, my friend. It's like a squished cartoon hat. So sorry about that. I mean, you see what you want to see. Phonics the Deer. I do not stream yet. I've been a guest on some of my friends' gaming streams. Love watching. Cool. Well, that's cool. Oh, thanks for the bit. I appreciate that. A little pride flag bit. I will take it. Thank you very much. Creed Stonegate. As far as I know, he was never. He was always. Blah. Creed says, as far as I know, he was always being chased but never succeeded. Well, that's a shame. Maybe we just need to do some fan fiction where the Cookie Crook gets a little a win for once. Okay, I'm gonna make his gloves gray, but I'll make them a little bit darker in the background and add a little bit of purple to them. And I realize as I'm doing this that his sleeves should have matched his shirt, so I got to go back and do that. All right, a little bit of dark on here. All right, we're really close to the end now. Sleeves. Okay, and put a little bit more texture on these cookies. I don't think it's quite working. There we go. Just a little bit darker. All right, and then back to the white for the bowl and everything. Sort of the shine so that you know it's not that I didn't color it, but it's a transparent material. And I'm going to add, this is just something I'm going to add on my own, which isn't in there. But I like the idea of him having like a little excited sweat effect. All right, and then I'll go to the background, and I'm not gonna draw anything in the background, but I'm gonna pop it out by using the shadow to just sort of frame it a little better. And as usual, I'll go back and soften this up, but I just feel like there's a lot of negative space that's taken up by the cop and the cereal box and a bunch of other stuff that I'm not gonna draw right now, but it clearly felt the need that it should be filled. Let's see, Samurai-Ox. Nope, you'll see it once Phonics gets picked. Oh, I see. So it's not this one. It's a potential drawing if it gets picked. And then Creed Stonegate says, "Great job. I requested this to keep myself from getting distracted and drawing serial series, and yet I've got other stuff to do first." Okay, cool. Well, I'm glad you're digging it, sir. But I do think you should do a Christmas card or something that has him winning. Actually, that would be great. Like a Christmas card or print or something of all the various mascots finally succeeding. You know, like the kids got Lucky's Charms and Barney's eating the cereal and like whatever the rabbit gets tricks, whatever the thing is that they always want, they finally get. That's some work for you that I've just given you that you don't have time for. All right, let me save this and then we'll do the next request real quick here. I'm going to call him CC. Okay, and we'll erase all this. Oop, merge it first. Merge layers, erase. All right, and then let me close that. Okay, what we got here? Diane Glitter, is that a propeller in the back? Yes. It was from a commercial he was in where he was in a remote controlled plane trying to steal the cereal and he crashed. So then he's like stuck in what's left of it and he's like still trying to get I still want to get him. Look at my elbows, they go crazy. Mm-mm-mm. Chris Stonegate, I want to do a Cookie Crook Cookie Monster mashup too. That would be cool. That would be very cool. All right, so let me look at the queue, and we have 4 in there. So once again, 25% chance for everybody. And let's see if Phonics gets chosen since they were in last. Even though it's supposed to be random, that seems to keep happening. Okay. Oh, but you know what? That's going to disappear. So let me make sure I still have the link. Okay, I do. Yeah, for some reason when I choose, it disappears off my list, which is why I take the picture. Okay, pick random. It was Phonics. Oh man, that is so weird. I gotta look into the random number generator that powers this thing because I've definitely done it where the last person on the list wasn't chosen, but they seem to get chosen a lot more. Like it could just be random chance, but I don't know. Definitely seems the way to game the system. All right, let's see. Uh, Phonics a deer. That's a really neat idea. I always feel sad for the circus. Yeah, me too. Well, thank you. Diane Glitter. I love that idea. Let them win. Everybody's digging it, Creed. I want to do a Cookie Crook Cookie Monster. Oh, I saw that. Yeah. Um, Dolly Girl. I was the first. Well, you've gotten picked before too, Dolly. I don't know. It's well. I'll tell you what. I'm gonna do this. Phonics got chosen, so they're going next. But I'll have time for at least one more. I'm gonna, in the interest of science, Dolly, you're number 1 on the list right now. I'll leave you there, or I will remove it, and you can put yourself back in, and you'll be last to see if that increases your chances. I don't know that it will, but I'll leave it up to you if you want to do that. All right, so let me look at the phonics reference. Phonics reference sheet by Barking Ellie. It's here's the character, so everybody knows. Okay, so what? Why? Oh! I thought they had some kind of shoulder patch. It's like a cross section, so their arm isn't there, but they actually colored it in red, so it looks like their arm was chopped off. It confused me for a second. I'm like, why do they? Okay, I get it. Let me, I'm gonna save this so I can zoom in a little bit more. Excuse me. Oh, get out of here, you. Save. Oh, maybe I can't save off of Twitter. Oh, whatever. That zoomed in a little bit more. Holy cow, what's going on? Phonics that you're now following. Well, thank you very much, Phonics. I appreciate that. Okay. Oh, Dolly Girl wants to try it. Okay, I'm going to start on this in a second, but we're going to do Samurai Ox flipping tables. Okay, Dolly, I'm taking off 1 second. I'm removing you right now. All right, so Dolly, now put your request in again, and you will be last on the list, and we will see what happens. Okay, so let me get into the phonics reference. Now, just for clarity's sake, phonics, I'm happy to do anything, but my specialty is not cartoony chibi stuff, despite the fact that I just did Cookie Crisp. So I will do my best, but this is not my specialty. All right, let me, I want to turn this back into white. Unlock. Make a white background this time. Okay, lock that up, and we'll do our quick, this one I'm definitely going to need to do 2 passes on. I don't think I can get away with 1 for the line, so we'll do a quick here. I don't know if that's technically a mohawk either, Ox. I mean, I see what you're saying, but it's kind of the mane or whatever you call it. It's kind of mohawky, but, well, I guess Phonics could answer. Is it supposed to be a literal mohawk style, or is it just kind of look like that because of the type of animal it is and the way the hair falls on that sort of animal? That is the question. All right, Dolly Girl, I got you in at last on the list for Giant Claw. I'm going to take a sip of water because Hydration Bot tells me to. Samurai Ox, I finally get to the back of the list. We don't know. We don't know how it works. Like I said, it's supposed to be random, but it's not like I invented the program or whatever. So, you know, it's like, again, anecdotally, it seems to be more noticeable. I don't know why, you know. And oh, they got to do that with a little fluffy tail. Kind of stick that out there. And that's the mohawk. Let's see. Funks there, you could do whatever style you like. Well, no, I mean, thank you. I'll try to get it a little bit cartoony though, because I don't want to make it like a super realistic, you know, Marvel superhero kind of. It might look a little weird, but I appreciate the leeway. Let's see. Semriox. Oh, you and your technicalities. Phonics the Deer. It's a mane, but it does have a mohawk look, which I've always liked. So you're both right. Okay, everybody wins. Friendship wins, everybody. All right, so the nose. Let me pull up this reference a little bit more. Oh, there's a stripe. I thought it was like a muzzle, but it's like a color stripe. Okay. And then the big ears, like so. And some piercings. Okay. You know what I think I'm going to do? I think I'm going to focus on the top half here. So I'm going to bring this up, down, there, like that, and focus mainly on the top half. So I think that'll work out a little bit better. Let me bring this opacity down to 50, and we'll go with another pass for lines. And I'll bring, okay, my brush to hard pressure size, 25 pixels, 75% opacity. Let's see what we got here. Ox. Oh, I'm only playing around. I got Cheddar Goblin, so I'm good for a month or so unless I get picked again tonight. Phonics of the Air, I like it really. Oh, well, thanks. I'm not even there yet, but if you're liking it already, then we're in good shape. Yeah, I think from the front it looks more mohawky, and then when the side you can see that it keeps going. I think is where it goes. And I think I'm gonna do this cleanup pass here and not get too crazy with it, and then throw some color in. Okay, looks some little horns. Looks like. Okay, and the expression in the eyes is very like chill, mellow. Like, yeah, whatever, dude. I don't care. Everything's cool. Cool in the gang. You, me, Dupree makes three. Whatever. It's like the Owen Wilson of deer. I don't know if that's true, but I'm just making up my own little story here. Okay, and I think the nose I should make a little bigger than I did. Yeah, like that. I was giving it kind of more of a wolf nose. This looks a little more accurate. Put some black in there so we know what we're doing. And then there's a lot of spots and coloring and stuff, but I'm going to leave that for the color. Excuse me. Phonics of Deer. All right, all right, all right. Yeah, there you go. I said Owen Wilson, but that's actually more accurate with what? Oh my God, what's his name? I know that actor. He's wait, don't tell me. Jeffrey Combs. No, what the heck is his name? Hugh Grant. Jonathan Frakes. What the? What? Why can't I remember his name? I've seen like half of his movies too. I am going to draw in this line a little bit, even though it's colored, just because it's so distinct past the other ones. Oh, I made a mistake, so I want to put a smile in there a little bit, so I want to not close that up just yet. All right, you can tell me. Matthew McConaughey. Yeah, you're both right. Thank you. Yeah, it just disappeared from my mind. Oops. So is this like your avatar, Phonics? This is the cartoon you? This is the deer you? Actually, but the muzzle I think should go up a little bit like that. There we go. Or is this just a character? Like, I guess what I'm saying is, obviously, this is a character that you've invented. Is it, uh, do you see it as an avatar for yourself, or is it just a character you've invented? I guess maybe that's a little clearer. Yes. Oh, okay. Cool. So did I get your personality right based on this avatar that you're very chill, very go with the flowy, very all right, all right, all right. Let's see. Samarayak says you should see Serenity, his newest movie, if you get a chance. It's trippy. Yeah, I probably will eventually. I'm so behind on movies. I didn't see Lego Movie 2. I missed Wreck-It Ralph in the theater. I didn't see Lego Movie. I didn't see uh, Battle Angel Alita, which is probably the one I most want to see. And Captain Marvel's coming out soon. It's a mess. I'm behind on everything. I don't know how I'm ever going to catch up. But I am catching up on CW Hourverse shows, at least, so I got that going for me. I'm catching up on TV, falling behind on movies. Okay, and got this kind of fuzzy plumage, which is part of the fur, but it almost looks like a scarfy accessory. Actually, I'm going to bring this down to 25%. It's kind of messing me up now. All right. And we go on time. We're doing okay on time. So yeah, I'll have time for one more after this. So if you want a request and haven't gotten one yet this week, throw it in, and hopefully you'll get picked. Whoever it is that hears me talking, I'm voting for you guys. You that's listening to me right now, I hope you win. Oh boy, you're my favorite. I hope your choice gets chosen. This applies to everybody except for Ox. I'm just kidding. Oh, Ox. You're so easy to get to flip table. Sometimes it's tempting. All right, and I'll put a little bit of dark here for the hooves, hovers, hoofs, hooves, whatever. All right, get that in, get that out. A little bit of leg, and then also in, out. There we go. And arm kind of up and then in. And I think it'll actually, you won't see the hoof on this one because it'll be like behind the back, hip, whatever you want to call it. And I think the one thing, I think these eyes are to, oh, actually I think I fixed it. I was going to say it looks a little weird, but once I erased that line, I think that fixed it up a lot. But I do think the little fuzzies on the side of the face should come out a little bit more than I have it. So I'm going to use digital magic to just scope it out like that. I'm right-handed, and so I have a keyboard that I put commands in on the side, and the keyboard's on the right side. But I heard somebody talking about how they have the keyboard on the left, which makes way more sense because then I could be drawing and keyboarding, whereas I always have to sort of put the pen in my left hand, reach over and keyboard. And also right now it's in the dark because I don't have the room lights on. Whatever. Just things I'm thinking about, a way I might want to improve my, change my, setup. All right, let me erase this layer altogether. All right, so that looks pretty plain, but we're going to throw some color in, which hopefully will spiffy it up. Contiguous, that won't work. No, I didn't close my lines. Let me see if I can close my lines real quick. What's not closed? That. Everything else looks closed. Closing time. We've got a color. Do 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 do. All right. Oh, there we go. That worked. Sort of. Whatever. We'll go with what we got. Select inverse. Select modify, contract by 3 pixels. And then we're going to grab a sort of light brown as the base for everything, sort of a light orangish brown kind of color. There we go. No, that didn't work at all. All right, I'm just going to do it the old-fashioned way. The old-fashioned way on my computer with a Cintiq in Photoshop. The old-fashioned way. Which is just drawing around the whole thing and then filling it. Let's see what we got in chat here. I use that avatar online a lot. Okay, cool. Yes. Samurai Ox whispers, "Big money, no whammies." Good luck, sir. Good luck. And then Funksier makes sense for an ox. It's true. I didn't even think about it. Ox is here so often, and now we got a deer. It's becoming a regular Zootopia. Ayo! I was just talking about that movie, which I actually enjoyed a lot. Oh, there's the part I didn't seal. Well, whatever. It's too late now. Seal. Wow. My brain is going crazy right now. The movie Zootopia, I had seen a while ago and whatever, and then for some reason it came up recently, and I realized Zootopia is a play on the word utopia. Never occurred to me till just now. It's pretty obvious, but like yesterday, the day before, I went to make a joke where I was like, look at all these animals. It's like a zoo. A zootopia. And I was like, oh, that's what the movie meant. The light lit in my mind, and the knowledge of the past was revealed, and my stupidity. What the heck? Come on. Oh, I don't have contiguous click. That's my fault. Okay. That's what's happening. Why is this not working? Well, let's do this. We'll bifurcate the whole thing. Twice. Nope, that one's the one. That's the bad one. Okay, so here we go. 1, 2, 3, zip. Zap, zop. What are we missing here? Something. I don't know. Goop, goop, goop. Ah, it's that one. That's the bad one. You are bad. All right. All right, so we'll go some white for the eyes and the other fur stuff. Well, let me select all this so I don't accidentally go outside the lines. That is black. That is the opposite of white. I was just testing to see if you guys were paying attention. All right, there's some white for the eyes, white for the eyes. And then there was white spots too. So we'll go boop, 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 doot, doot, doot. And then some up here. Quack, 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 quack. Bop, 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 bop. And some down here. Glad do 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 beep 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 beep. All right. Let me see what I got. Makes I really enjoy that movie. Awesome. Yeah, me too. Dolly Girl, mind blown. That's what, yeah, totally. I'm not always the quickest shed in the toolbox. Cute. I had something else happen like that recently too. I can't remember what, but like an obvious thing that. Oh, I know what it was. Like I said, I've been watching the Arrowverse show, so there's like Arrow, Flash, all that stuff. And there's the logo for Arrow, and it has like a swoosh. It's like Arrow, it has a swoosh behind it. And I was thinking, like, that's a weird, like, elegant design element for a show that's like really dark and full of murder, and like, it's not a. And then I realized, oh, it's not like a random design element. It's a bow, like a bow and arrow. And I've been watching that show for a couple of years now, and it just now occurred to me that, yeah, it's a bow, idiot. I'm the dumbest me I know. All right, there's a lot of white on this character, which I like because it makes it easier. I don't have to switch to another color. Did I get all of it? Nope, a little bit on the hoof paw. Hoof paw. All right, I think that's all the white. Actually, there's a little bit here, which will come into play when I put the other color in. Oh no, that's not it. That's just more dots. But there is white on the muzzle. Okay, now we're getting somewhere. The muzzle is the area we're getting. So it looks like that's all white there until the stripe. Okay. All right, and then we'll do a darker brown. And that will be for the stripe here on the muzzle. Actually, I think I need to go even darker for that. This is more like the color for the hair up here. I'll go back and change the muzzle stripe in a minute. Yeah, okay, so I'll go a little bit darker, like so. And then I'll get sort of a bluish gray for the hoofs and stuff. And the nose, the nozzles. There we go. And the hoovers. Boop, boop, ba-doo. And looks like some pale green for the eyes. Excuse me. I see some chat. I will check in 1 second. Let's see. Front of Muzz. Yep, you got it. I usually use the black for the nose and the ear markings. I see the ear markings. I don't see the nose. I don't see black on the nose. Not in the reference you gave me anyway. Excuse me. I think I'm gonna stick with this sort of same bluish black color I was using for the others, just to keep consistency. Oh no, I'm sorry. I meant to grab the brown to keep with consistency of design, because I think if I put in a big black stripe here, it would look weird for the way I've colored it so far. So even if it's slightly inaccurate, I think it'll make a better finished piece, in my estimation. And then we'll get these guys, and then it looks like, okay, I've got to put in some green for the earrings, plugs, or whatever that is. And then I'm going to color this all green, and then I'll go back in and put some rainbow in it. Like so. A little bit of yellow. Yellow will pop the rainbow. Yosh. And some red, and I think, oh, maybe purple too. I know this is not in the correct order. I probably should have done it in the correct order, but I wasn't really thinking about it. So that's the order we get. Creative license. All right, so now I need to get the lighter tan for the ears and some of the other pieces. So I'm going to deselect all this, reselect just these colors. Let's see what am I missing here. Phonics, yeah, I use the same dark color for all. That's good. Okay, cool. Good. Happiness pie. All right, fill this in, and then the same here. And then the ear and the tum look like they're roughly the same color. Yeah. And that probably comes down like that a little bit. So fill that in. Doot, doot, doot. And then on the sides of the face as well. Kind of like that. And up here. And then like that. That's one of the good things about doing the show is I draw a lot of stuff I wouldn't normally draw, and gets me out of my comfort zone. And it might not result in the greatest masterpieces I've ever done, but it the next time I need to draw like a cartoony looking deer, I'll have a little bit more experience. All right, so I just got to do these fades, and then we're going to be moving on to the next one. So that fade did not work the way I wanted it to. Let me try that again. Actually, I think a better way to do it is to grab this and then fade in this way. Yeah, there we go. Why is that so? Oh, I have it on 75. I want it on 25. Sorry, my fault. That's better. A little bit of a fade there, a little bit of a fade up here, and there, and there, and there. All right, so there's a little bit of dark fade on the arms, which I will use this color. And I'm just going to go right in instead of making another layer like I normally would, because we're running short on time here. Okay, and a little bit coming up there as well. I think that's it. I don't think I'm missing anything, although I do dislike that I accidentally just colored onto the hoof, so I'm going to erase that. Oop, not all of it, just this part. There we go. All right, how are we doing on time? Okay, we're technically supposed to be done in like 5 minutes, but I said we'd do another one, so I will do another one even though we're out of time. So don't worry about that. I'm a person of my wordies. All right, I'm gonna throw in a color background similar to what you got here, kind of like a, was that like a turquoisey almost, like so. And then, oop, what's happening? Phonics. Oh, thank you for the cheer. 100 biddies. Thank you so much. That's very lovely of you. I appreciate that. And I'm gonna go ahead and do a similar thing you got on that one with the outline, but I'm just gonna make mine a little softer. Doop 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 doop. Charge. And I think I might lighten that background a little bit as well, which will help pop this out a little bit more. So I'm just going to take the whole thing and bring it down to 75. Yeah, let's see if what's 50 looks like. I kind of like 50. Let's stick with 50. And then maybe I'll do one quick cell shade layer, which you don't have in the version up there. But I think I don't know, I'm a big fan of cell shading, so let's do it. Worst case scenario, I'll erase it. All right, so cell shading, we're just going to grab all black and put this at 75. And let's imagine the light's coming from there. So we'll have, oop, why is that not going? Oh, select inverse. Select inverse. Okay. Let's see. Phonics, it looks really good. The only marking that's missing is brown on the arms. Oh, which I did. Okay. Yeah, it looks awesome. Awesome. Thank you. I do have a Twitter. I don't use it that much. I'm Gazbot on Twitter. I'm Gazbot on most social media. I'm on YouTube and Twitter and Instagram, Facebook, all that stuff. So my Twitter is actually I have a social. If you exclamation point, hold on, I forget my own commands here. I think it's exclamation point social or SM. Hold on, see if I can find it. Well, anyway, I'm Gazbot on Twitter. I'm Gazbot on Twitter. There is a command to get it, but I don't have Twitch open. But if you have Twitch open, underneath where I have all my commands listed, I thought I did one for social media. If not, I apologize for misleading you. Oh, there it goes. Awesome. Thank you very much. That's there. There's all of them. But yeah, Twitter. Basically, I post to Instagram and it reposts to Twitter, and that's most of my Twitter posts. And then if somebody ats me, I will, respond to that. But I don't spend a lot of time looking on Twitter. For whatever reason, it's just not my preferred social media. You know what? I think I'm not loving the cell shade. I think maybe I'll just leave it at 10% like that, just to have a little hint of it. And then I'll go in and clean up some of these jams. Oops, that was too harsh. Bring the opacity down to 50. Oop, no, come on. I want to erase, not brush. I want to erase, not brush. Do, do, do. There we go. All right. A little bit of shot. Yeah, I'll bring it even down to 5 because I think it wasn't working. All right, so that'll do for now on this fine fawn. See what I did there? All right, so I'll save this as fawn something. I don't know. I didn't type that right. And we'll erase all this and do our final random draw. And if it ends up being the last one on the list, I'm going to have to find a new randomizer. All right, so let me close out this reference. So right now we got 3 people on the list. If you want to be on the list, you've got about 3 seconds while I take a drink of water. You're welcome, Phonics. Huh. I see a cheer just hanging on the screen there. Is that showing up for everyone else too? I don't know why it's staying like that. Let me see. If I turn this on or off, this. Oh, that made it go away. Okay, cool. Is the cheer, but yeah, that's what I was just asking. Okay, so it should be gone now. I don't know why it hung like that, but it should be gone now. Sorry about that. As I said, technology. Okay, so let me take a picture. We got 3 left in here. That's a 33% chance, 33.3 to the infinity chance each. If Dolly Girl gets chosen, then yeah, I gotta find a new one of these then. Pick random. It wasn't Dolly Girl. It wasn't Dolly Girl. Who was it? Sorry, Dolly Girl. Well, I guess we know that it's truly random, and it wasn't just. It just sometimes seems like it gets picked on the bottom. I gotta look at my picture, but I accidentally closed it. It was. It was Samurai Ox with Tank Girl, and he was in the middle. So if that means anything, Dolly, you would not have gotten chosen anyway because you were number 1. So you didn't miss out by doing the experiment. All right, so final one. Ox doesn't get to flip a table because we're gonna do Tank Girl. And I think I have some Tank Girl reference kicking around already. The cool thing about Tank Girl is there's kind of no wrong way to draw her. She's been done a million times by a bunch of different artists, live action, etc. All right. For those that don't, here's just one version of her. For those who don't know who Tank Girl is, that's Tank Girl. All right. All right. I think I'm gonna. All right. Close this. Close. Excuse me. I'm gonna clear the queue. I'm gonna close that. Okay. So requests are closed is the final request of the night. Samurai Ox, this pleases me. Well, I'm glad you are pleased, sir. All right, so let me zoom out a little bit here, and we'll do a quick undersketch and go on from there. I'm glad I have water. I'm like having my throat's getting dry even with water, so I can only imagine if I didn't have water, I'd be like, hello, can anybody hear me? I'm gonna give her a big old crazy grin. I'm Tank Girl. That's not what she sounds like at all. Let me zoom this out a little bit. I'm a little bit too close into her face, but I do like the idea of turning it a little bit. There we go. Tank Girl, this is going to sound weird. This won't even make sense, but I feel like Tank Girl was Harley Quinn before there was a Harley Quinn. Does that make sense? Like a similar, they're not the same character, but that same niche of kind of like a cool, crazy, tough, bizarre, you know, sense of fashion character. I don't know. Maybe that doesn't make sense, but I feel like I guess I feel like people who like Harley should like Tank Girl. Maybe that's what I'm saying. And Tank Girl came first, so that's that's also what I'm saying. Let's see. I'll give her a cigarette. Actually, no. If I put it that way, we won't be able to see it. Put it this way, and like a big that. And I always like Tank Girl with goggles or something, personally. Not on her face necessarily, but on her somewhere. And then some crazy strips of like hair sticking out that don't make sense. Like she kind of buzzed most of her hair, but left a lot of it still sticking around. All right. All right. If I had more time, I would probably do a like a bazooka or like, you know, I'd give her more ordnance and stuff because she's all about like destroying stuff. But I'm gonna just focus on the face, so I don't really have a lot of room for that in this one, unfortunately. But you know, maybe we'll do it again in 2 weeks. So let me bring this down to 25 and switch over to black. Where's black? There we go. And we'll bring the opacity up to 80. Excuse me. Let's see, what do we got here? Dolly Girl. Oh no, I wasn't picked. Samurai Ox totally makes sense. But you'll have to do an extra chance next week, Dolly. Dolly Girl. Guess I'll just try next week for either Giant Claw or a Pink Pig with Wings. Yeah, there's always next week. I'm sorry you didn't get picked, Dolly. But like I said, it was the middle one that got picked. So first and last, either way, you weren't going to get picked. So I know it's small comfort, but it's not like by deciding to change that ruined your chances. Okay. So I'm gonna do, this will be the cleanup pass, and then I'll do color. I'm actually doing much darker than I did with the others. I gotta keep a little bit of space here so that it can fit between the teeth. Actually, maybe it's sort of, I guess it's like, it's not a cigarette or a cigar. It's one of those, it's like kind of like a blunt, like, who knows what's even in it? Is it tobacco? Is it marijuana? Is it some other thing from some other time and world that she seemingly lives in that isn't, it's out of time and space with ours, even though there's sometimes references to things in our world. The main thing is I like the idea that the ash is just burning like a crazy forever. Let's see. Dolly Girl, you've done other requests of mine in past shows, so I'm okay with it. Thank you. Oh, no problem. Well, thanks for being cool. Yeah, the unfortunate thing is I can't do everybody's requests all time, you know, and hopefully everybody gets picked once in a while, so it's all fair. That's why I put the random thing in, because earlier when it was less people, I would just pick them based on what I felt like doing or whatever, and it didn't matter because usually everybody would get gotten to anyway. But as more people started joining, I felt like the random would be a little better. Plus, some things I would never pick if it wasn't random. You know what I mean? So that goes back into the getting me out of my comfort zone, making me draw things that I wouldn't normally draw. Let me see. I don't like that. I did something weird there. Let me do the rest of the shape of her face first. That's better. And got her ear sticking out. And she's got some pierced ears too. A whole bunch of crazy, I don't even know if they make sense kind of piercings, just flipping around. I'm gonna lower this down because it's interfering a little bit. Let's see. Phonics the Deer, Mystery Herb. Yeah, there you go. Samurai Ox, also totally tweeted at Peter feeling it was going to be picked like an hour ago. Oh man, well hopefully he sees it. So did you pick Tank Girl just for Peter, or was it you wanted to see it too and you're like, hey, why not double up since I know Peter wants to see it kind of deal? There we go, that's better. I was showing too much of the nostril on that one side. Oh, you know what? I'll give her some lip piercings too. And maybe she's got like a weird, like almost like a nail going through this one. And sorry, I got quiet. I'm all in my head. I'm like, then what? What am I gonna do next? Let's see. Ox. Oh, still talking about same thing. I was like, he's still talking about Peter, but no, it's the same one from before. All right, give her some kind of thick eyebrow situation. Darker than the rest of her hair. Why not? A little bit of extra hair. Not quite a unibrow, but in that ballpark. She's not worrying about that kind of maintenance today. Maybe tomorrow, maybe the day before. It's always different. Random. That's her aesthetic. Random. And I always feel like you got to put a bandage or a band-aid on her somewhere too. That's another Tank Girl staple in my opinion. And actually, I'll fill these in and I'll put white in after. Yeah, there we go. A little bit of white. Doot doot. So she doesn't look like she's dead. Okay, some lines in here and some lines in there. And I'll bring this up. Oh, goggles. I almost forgot. I started drawing over, leaving out the goggles situation, which, as I said before, to me is one of the most important elements of a Tank Girl picture. Let's see. Ox says, totally going for a double up because I love Tank Girl and I always notice it on the wall in your videos. Oh yeah, that's I don't think you can see it from here, but where is it? Up there. You can't really see it very well. Maybe if I turn this light. Nah. Now watch another video. It's a headshot that I got from Adam Hughes, who doesn't really do commissions that much anymore, but it was like a quick sort of a Sharpie sketch, and it was a charity thing, so I was able to get it for next to nothing. Yeah, and he's like, who do you want? And he's known for doing females and like usually like sort of stereotypically hot girls and stuff, like comic booky kind of hot. But I was like, could you do Tank Girl? And he's like, yeah. I was like, awesome. So I'm glad you're doubling up, Ox. I'm glad you enjoy my Adam Hughes Tank Girl. Mine will not be as good, but that's okay because I'm not Adam Hughes. Funny thing is, I've drawn Tank Girl a few times, but I've never really sat down and done like a long, I'm studying, this is my best version of Tank Girl piece. They've always been kind of like this, where they're just sort of like a quick headshot or something. So I don't know. Maybe one day I'll actually do like a real Tank Girl piece, quote unquote. I'm gonna bring this down even more. Take another sip of water. Phonics the deer. Phonics the deer. The Tank Girl is very hot. Yeah, I mean, I think she's cool too. Like, but I just meant like stereotypical, superhero, like, Black Cat or Supergirl or something like that. She's usually not in that category for whatever reason. Okay, and then what else could we do? Give her eyebrow ring too. A couple of those jams. Jim jammies. Maybe. Oh, here, you know what I'll do? I'll give her like a cut. Like maybe she just got hit with some shrapnel or something up here. She doesn't care though. She likes it. It's funny to her. I'll put a little bit of a darker line under the lip on top here. Make that a plug. Let's see what else. Phonics, this is great. Well, thank you. Samurai, it really is. Gaz hits these modes where it's just something. Thanks. I am having fun with it, but I think that results in me not chatting as much, which is a bad thing. So, Phonics Deer, if you get the chance, last week's request, see much how funny I drawn the Cheddar Goblin. That was pretty fun. That was fun. I remember singing a song. There were antics for sure. Yeah, and I think they stay up on Twitch for a while, but I also put them all on YouTube for extended posterity. If anybody cares to see any of my old Twitch request lives, which will also be for the new show I'll be doing Mondays, will also go up onto Twitch after the fact. Excuse me. For those that weren't here earlier, I do this every week on Fridays from 5:30 to 7, although I often run late like I am today. And then I'm starting a new show. It'll start this Monday, but it'll be a soft start. Like the real start will be the following Monday, same time, 5:37, and it's going to be heavily Power Rangers based. I'm gonna have a co-host. I'm gonna still be drawing, but I'm gonna be doing Power Ranger art specifically. I won't be taking requests, unfortunately, and I will be. We will be discussing the new season, which is Beast Morphers, which is the first season since Saban lost the rights and Hasbro has the rights. And so we'll talk about the current episode, and I'll be drawing something Power Rangers related. And we'll talk about news and stuff, but it'll be very Power Rangers heavy. So if you hate Power Rangers, you will not like it. If you're indifferent about Power Rangers, maybe check it out. Maybe it'll make you enjoy it. And if you love Power Rangers, well then you should at least like it. All right, so like that. All right, I'm gonna erase this. Okay, I gotta put a little bit more black on those lips. That line is a little uneven there. That's better. All right, I'll put just like a random star in the background because why not? Jamie Hewlett, good. And I'll put a little. Oh, I know. I'll put a dog collar with a lock like Sid Vicious used to wear. I heard Sid Vicious from the Sex Pistols. I don't know if this is apocryphal or true, but he had like a chain around his neck that he wore, I think, until he died. And it had a lock on it. And what I heard was that he had put it on there and didn't have a key for it, and so that was it. It just stayed on there forever. It was like, well, that's his chain forever now, you know. I like to believe that's true because it's a fun story, even if the rest of his life is somewhat tragic. All right. All right, so I'll throw some colors in here, and then we'll call it a day. We'll start with the kind of Caucasian-y flesh. Let me check chat. I realize I'm missing some stuff. Samurai Ox. Not true. I'm loving this. You really need to do a pinup. One day, maybe, like I said. Phonics Deer. Oh, okay, gotcha. Dolly Girl. I missed 2 weeks ago. I'll check it out tomorrow. Oh, yeah. Yeah, they're definitely. Thanks, Dolly. Like I said, Twitch saves them for a little while. You can look at like past streams, but it's not permanent, and I don't know how searchable it is, so I always put them up on YouTube as well. And since Usually don't go that long. Like some streamers will go just for like all day or half the day. I usually try to keep it to an hour and a half or 2 hours in the case of this one. So I feel like that's not too much to be on YouTube. And honestly, if nobody watches it, it's no big deal because like it's pretty easy to re-export up to YouTube. So that's fine with me. Okay. I'm Tank Girl and I kick your butt, but you like it and you paid me for the opportunity. Yeah, that's what she says, right? All right, let me get some pink for her tongue and stuff. Where do we go? There we go. That is not bright enough. Need a brighter pink. Naughty Pine. Naughty Pine. That might seem like a non sequitur, and it is. Um, there's a show, I guess it's on Netflix now, but it was originally on the internet called, oh, actually, hold on, let me check the chat. Is the new show going to be a similar layout and have another window for Big Dog or another guest but highlighting the drawing? Yes and no. It will be a similar layout, and it might change over time because I'm still I'm fiddling with it. So if you look at the way it's laid out now, there'll be the box with me, and then on the exact opposite side, it'll be the Big Dog. The area now that says commissions client work above my head, that's where the art will be. It'll be much smaller. And then in the middle where the art currently is going to be a slideshow of images from the show or toys we're talking about or whatever. And then above that will be the chat. I'm not sure. Right now there's like a negative space there that I'm not sure if I'm going to fill it with anything or what I'm going to do. But the difference is I will also have the ability to switch. Like I think I did this earlier. So I switched like that. So hey, it's just me. So I'm going to incorporate that into. Actually, you know what? I could kind of show you. This is a work in progress. Here's a sneak peek. Oops, that's not it. Hold on. That's not it either. This is the work in progress. So you can see how there's the slideshow there, and Photoshop will be up top and stuff. I'm still putting it together to finalize where everything's going to be. And again, it might change. Oh, something. It got crazy. Are you still there? Am I here? Who's what? Who's happening? Hi. I see Ox giving a sad face maybe. Am I here? Can you guys see me, hear me? I don't know what the heck happened. I don't know when it cut out either. I'm going to assume everything's cool. I know there's a delay. I'm going to go back to coloring and wait for somebody to tell me things are good or bad. Oh, I'm here. Okay, thank you, Creed. I appreciate that. I don't know what happened, guys. I don't know what the last thing you saw. I was trying to show a preview of the setup I had for the Ranger show. Did that even happen, or did I get cut off before that? Because, yeah, I don't know if that triggered it or what, but I mean, it was just switching scenes, which I should be able to do without much problem. So that worries me, because the point I was making is with that show, I plan on being able to switch scenes to do close-ups and things like that to highlight if somebody wants to see the art or whatever. I'm going to take a sip of water. No more water. You said, "Oh shit," and then the meteor. Oh, and I said it again. I try to keep this PG. I apologize. I try not to curse in these things. Let's see, Dolly Girl. I saw a picture of the Beast Rangers. That's as far as I saw. Yeah, okay. So something happened. I'm gonna have to look into that. It's kind of good that that happened now because, like I said, part of the new show was going to be that I could switch and go, hey, here's an image of the Power Rangers. Here's an image of my art. So it'll have a default where it's got everything the way this does, but then I would be able to switch to different things on command. Now I know that I might not be able to switch different things on command or it might crash my computer. But that's also the first show we're doing on this Monday. The Beast Morphers hasn't even started yet, so it's going to be us just kind of working the kinks out and talking about what we want to see and our experiences with Power Rangers and things like that. So if there are going to be problems, this will be a good show to have problems with. So tune in to see how bad we mess up, I guess. But yeah, sorry for the distraction. Practice, practice, practice. Yeah, exactly. And it serves me right too because I'm trying to do something new. So that's what happens. Like I'm not just doing the exact same thing. And when you incorporate something new, well, then sometimes problems. I think the downside of this is because this is getting a little bit late here. I'm going to finish coloring it, but I'm not going to go crazy with shading and all that stuff. I'm just going to kind of give it these flat colors and leave it at that. But I am going to go bright, give her some super bright pink lipstick, I think. Like this. Yeah, I'm liking it. I dressed up as Tank Girl for Halloween once. It was sort of cross-dressing. It was sort of being drag. It was sort of cosplay, but it was just Halloween. But what's weird about it or funny about it is that I worked at a video store back when that was a thing, and I dressed up. I didn't ask my boss. I didn't ask anybody. I'm like, it's Halloween, and I did this. Looking back, I for years would just dress up on Halloween wherever I was, no matter what the situation was, without asking or anything. And so yeah, I showed up for my shift, and I was dressed as Tank Girl, and not like a gender bent version of Tank Girl, like a female presenting Tank Girl. And my boss was just sort of like, and he was a Russian guy, and he's like, "Oh, hey, you are Halloween." I'm like, "Yeah." He's like, "Okay," and he had to leave, and there I went. And so it was fine. But then I just worked like an 8-hour shift behind the counter by myself in the store, dressed like Tank Girl, and it was pretty glorious. I didn't shave my head, but I had a pretty punky haircut already, so it worked out. I think I did put like I had longer hair than I have now, so I made like little teeny ponytails and stuff to help make it look a little even more, you know, crazy for lack of a better term. Put a little bit of purple there, and a little bit. Make this whole thing purple. Why not? And then we'll get some blonde. I think I don't know what her hair color is. I always think of it as being blonde, although it could be dyed blonde too. But like I guess I think of the base color as being blonde with other colors on top, which may or may not be true, but it's true for me today right now. Oops, I didn't want to put that there. Let me see what I'm saying. I want to see that pic, says Ox. I don't think there's a pic of me at the store, but there probably is a pic of me as Tank Girl somewhere. I don't have it handy. I also lost a bunch of photos a couple of years ago when I moved, so as I say that, it might be there. I'm not sure. Um, Q actually dressed as Tank Girl one year too. The first time I was talking about was before we were together. I'm sorry, Airzuki, I meant to say. She and I went to a Halloween party that was like a post-apocalyptic Halloween party. So I dressed up as the Road Warrior, and she dressed up as Tank Girl, and she did a really good job. She made a better Tank Girl than I did. Let's see. Dolly Girl, who is Tank Girl? I mean, what is she from? Tank Girl is primarily from a comic book. It's an independent comic. Jamie Hewlett, I think, was the creator. He was at least the original artist. But she did get a live action movie as well with Lori Petty back in the 90s. And then Oxia Comics for the most part, usually in her name. Yeah, it's not like an ongoing comic that's been going on forever. It's more like here's 5 issues, here's another 15 issues. Okay, 3 years later, here's another issue. So it's a little bit random that way. I don't know what color her eyes. I feel like her eyes are blue. Let me take a look. I know Lori Petty has blue eyes. Let's see. Do 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 do. Bump bump. Do 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 do. Bump bump. I can't find my reference. There it is. Well, this person gave her blue, so I will also give blue. But I'm going to do this. I'm going to make one blue a slightly different shade. Because why not? There we go. I like that. And then I'll give some red. Like she has a bright red bra sticking out from her t-shirt, which is what I did when I cosplayed her. So she's now cosplaying me, cosplaying her. And that. And we'll put some red in the plug in her ear too. Oops, gotta erase that because it's going straight through. And a Band-Aid color is sort of like a, I don't know, tan yellow-ish color. Oh, or white. I didn't mean that. Oh, I put an eraser on by mistake. There we go. That's better. It's closer to what I had in mind. And then this should be a little bit more brown for the cigar stogie blunt situation. Doop 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 doop. Wow. Doop 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 doop. And I'll put some gray for the ash, and then I'll put a little bit of orange too, so that we know it's still lit. Yo, it's lit, yo. It's still lit, yo. More on the end though. There we go. Actually, no, it should go the other way. It should be more on this side and less on the end, because then it's when it starts coming actual ash and not just, yeah. Let's see. Also, Dolly, Monday's show will be the same time as this show. Yes. Oh, yes, sorry. Dolly Girl, I'll look it up. Thank you. Oh, good. I'll write them. Yeah, it's gonna be Monday, 5:30 to 7, same as this. It might not go. Actually, it'll start at 5:30. It might not go till 7. My plan is that it'll be about an hour, so it should go 5:30 to 6:30. If it goes a little shorter, a little longer, we'll let that happen because it's not the same format as this, where I'm like trying to meet goals for people's requests. So, however long it makes sense to discuss things and whatever. And so that's one of the weird things too is I might start a drawing and not finish it on air, or like for example, the first one we're going to do, I'm going to come with a drawing partially done and just see if I could finish it up. And the future ones, we'll see how it goes. I know in the beginning, the first couple episodes, I'm probably just going to do like headshots of the main Beast Morpher Rangers. After that, I might do other Rangers, or I might, maybe sketch a funny scene from the show or a cool scene or something like that. That's a little bit up in the air, but I definitely, I definitely can't guarantee I'll be getting full art done since I can't guarantee what the timeline will be. All right, so color this in. I'll put a little bit of white in that, even though I'm not doing shading. We're almost done. Oh, I gotta put, okay, so I gotta put the white in to make this look like glass, and I gotta put some color in on the smoke. Not Felicity smoke, just smoke. And let me put some orange for this star. I'm gonna put a color in the background. I'm kind of walking myself through what I think I need to do. Also, I have all this metal on her, and it's all the exact same gray, which I don't like. So I'm gonna change some of these. Really, I'd like to go in and change them all to be completely different, but again, time is a factor, so I'll just change some. Okay, and go back to white. Flute. There we go. That works. That. Oh, and I forgot to color the top of this goggle. Googlo. And I'll put a little bit of blue in there too. Why not? And maybe there's like one or two strands up top. Okay. Soup. Oh, smoke. That was the thing I forgot. Smoke. Felicity Smoke. So let's see. Dolly Girl or a villain. Yeah, or a villain. Samrock's all Goldar all the time. I'll definitely do a bunch of characters from Beast Morphers, but there's like maybe the main villain and stuff, or if it has a cool villain that week. But I don't want to. I mean, it's going to be on for however many episodes, 50 episodes or something. So I don't think I want to do 50 pieces of nothing but Beast Morphers the whole time. So I'll probably mix it up here and there. But certainly in the beginning, it'll be very Beast Morphers heavy. All right, I'll bring that down to 50. And I'll put a little white highlight. Oh, that's not white. That's black. I keep making that mistake. Okay. And I'll put a little bit coming this way. And then we'll put a big color behind it. I want to say like yellow, maybe? Well, no, orange. Oh, I already did orange. All right, let's do something we haven't done. Bright green, something really garish. That's not too bad. But it needs something. It needs... Oh, I know it would be cool. Do like a checkerboard effect. Excuse me. There's a lot of checkerboard patterns in the book. Well, at least when Jamie Hewlett's doing it. So I'm going to kind of fake it like this. Oof, this is not even at all. I am just speeding through this. But whatever. All right, so. Oh, I messed it up. Well, you know what? Whatever. Who cares? It's Tank Girl. Nothing's perfect. So we'll just fill that in like so. And then go the other way. Oh, wait, I did that wrong. One, two, three, four. Let's see. Ox says, yeah, he was like the only thing that didn't jive with me. Wait. Oh, I gotta go back. I missed some. Dolly Girl. I didn't like the Goldar from the last Power Rangers movie. Neither did I. Neither did Ox. But oh man, that old theme kicked in. Yeah. There was things I liked about the movie and things I didn't like. Goldar was something I definitely didn't like. I didn't like the way he looked, like the gold kind of monster. But I could have got over that. What I really didn't like was that he didn't have a personality. That he was just sort of like a blobby golem with no, personality. So I mean, I like the crazy monkey man, obviously, but really, I could have gotten over him not being the monkey man if he was like a cool gold monster. Um, the voice actor of Goldar and what's his name, Magna Defender is actually going to be at a convention. I'm going to be doing a Power Ranger convention. Why is this? Hold on, sorry, I'm having a hard time getting this pattern the way I wanted it to be. All right, I'm just going to erase that, and then I'll erase the one before it. But yeah, so I'm gonna try to get a headshot or two for every actor that's gonna be there. And I have a Goldar, but I don't really like it. It's kind of old and it doesn't match the new ones I have. Um, so I'm either gonna do a new Goldar, or a Magnum Defender, or both before then. All right, so let me save this. Oh wait, no, one thing I need to do. I want to put a little eye makeup on her. I forgot about that. Gotta do this quick, and then I keep going back. I'm not gonna do any shading, but I'm gonna put in so much color. Yeah, that's what I want. But I want to do it like weird, like there. Like she just slopped it on. All right. Nah. More. More. Molto. Molto. All right. Let me see. Bring that down to 50. Nope, not that. Oh, that looks cool, though. Oh, I put that all in the main layer. You know what? I think I went crazy on that. I think I'm just going to stick with that. Because I need to get more into the color to make that work the way I want it to. So we're going to say that's done. We're going to be happy with it, even though we're not happy with it. I don't know. Everything needs more work. I think the thing is that the ones I enjoy personally more, I'm like, I need to work on this more. Well, then, but the ones I'm not, whatever. I always want more time. I'm slow, is my point. So no matter how quick I go on these, I always feel like I need more time. But whatever. Wow, it is 7:30. We're a half hour over. So sorry for taking long, but thanks for sticking around. And if you got your request filled, I'm happy. If you didn't, I'm sad. But we'll be back next week. I'm gonna, as I'm wont to do, I'm gonna send everybody over on a raid just to spread the love a little bit before I go. So I'm opening up Twitch. Pardon me as I look away from you lovelies for one moment. Let me mute the stream. It is muted. Let me go to my channel. Yeah, but so again, every week we do this. You can win every. Hey, thanks, Creed. Appreciate that. Every week we do this. You can get a sketch choice equally. You can't get two in one show, but you can get one every week if you want, and it's happened quite many times, whatever that means. And then the new show will start this Monday. It'll be a soft start. It'll probably be a shorter version, and it'll be me and the big dog kind of talking about the show and our experiences with Power Rangers, and maybe a little bit about the trailer they've dropped. And then after that, we'll start doing the full show, which will be more an hour-ish. Let's see. Phonics of the Year was awesome. You're very chatty and entertaining. Love how you know. Well, thanks. I feel like that's the whole point of doing a live show. Otherwise, why not just record it? Samurai Ox Night Friend, Dolly Girl is a great show. Thank you very much. All right, so let's see. Who do we want to send to? You know what? Baja Bug was here before and gave me a little boost. So I'm going to send this from him. I think, what is he doing? It says talk shows and podcasts. So I don't know what he's doing. He usually plays video games, but he also does talk shows. So I'm going to send everybody over to Baja Bug. And what I usually say is, you don't got to stay there and keep watching the show. I understand. I'm going to go eat dinner. But maybe throw down some emotes. Maybe give him a follow. That's free. Couldn't hurt. And yeah, so let me set this up. And it looks like this will be going in 8 seconds. And thank you, everyone, once again. But for now, this is Baja Bug. This is Gazbot powering down.